Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity, and welcome to a 3 looks 1 palette type of video. This is something I do want to make. Little man is talking. He woke up just as I was finishing up this, so we might get some baby noises in here. So 3 looks 1 palette is something I definitely want to try to do more of, especially at the beginning of the year, but I like to carry it through the rest of the year. It's something that I find I really enjoy watching them, for starters, and I get a lot of inspiration from them. And since I'm sitting down to do my makeup every day, I figured I can just hit record and then do voiceovers and be able to share with you guys the 3 looks 1 palettes, and for the most part be able to share with you guys the looks that I created when I was testing out the palettes. Now, I can't promise it'll happen for every single palette I test out, but I'm definitely going to try my best to do as many as possible. And today, for the first kind of 3 looks 1 palette of 2020, I have been testing out and creating 3 looks with the LORAC Neon Lights palette. This is actually the 3rd look that I've done. It's the last look I'm doing. I might do 1 more, but I won't be recording it. But this is the 3rd look I've done for this video, and yeah, I've got some thoughts on this. I'll share as I go along, and then of course keep a lookout. I will be giving my official review of this, but for now I'll just kind of do a voiceover as I do these looks and share with you guys kind of like what I was experiencing while doing my eye look, if there was any struggles, if a shadow was really easy to use, really difficult to use, that sort of thing. Inspiration for this is definitely from BeautBean. She's here on YouTube and does so many 3 looks 1 palettes, and I absolutely love it. And I wish I could do kind of in real time, but right now with life being so crazy, kids coming in and out, I figured I'll start with doing voiceovers, and if I can transition into sharing with you guys kind of in real time what I am experiencing with these shadows and, you know, doing my looks, I'll definitely do that. But for now, they're going to be a voiceover, and I hope you guys are okay with that. That is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to try to keep this intro very short and sweet. Let's just go ahead and jump into the very first look that I created using the LORAC. It's the LORAC Pro Press Pigment Palette Neon Lights.
Alright, so I'm just taking the LORAC Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer and then the Makeup Revelation Conceal and Define Concealer, and I'm putting that on my lids and just blending it out, and that is going to be my base for this eye look. And then going into the Neon Lights palette, I'm taking the Atomic shade and I'm just blending that into my crease and building it up. This shade was really nicely pigmented. I thought it built up very nicely and didn't take too much work, and I didn't notice any kind of patching or anything, so this one was very easy and effortless to use. And also, sorry for the autofocusing. This day that I filmed this eye look, I did not have my usual setup, and so I just turned on the autofocus and just did my eye look and hoped that it would stay focused on my face. But anyway, after that, I just take the blue shade called Blue Notes and I'm packing that onto the crease. This turned out to be like, it was a shade that I basically always had to use because it was the deepest one, so if I wanted to deepen a look, the blue is all you really have. But it turned out to be the trickiest to blend. I just felt like it took so long and it never really wanted to blend, and maybe that's just blue in general, but for me in this shadow, I kind of dreaded when it was time to deepen up a look with that blue, because it just, as you're going to see, this I've changed to a pencil brush and I'm picking up a little bit more shadow, but I'm mainly just trying to blend it up and make it a little more effortless and just get rid of that harsh line between the blue and that more orangey pinky shade, and it just took so much back and forth, and even at the end I don't feel like it was as blended out and diffused as I would have preferred, but it's what I had to work with, so we went with it. And finally I just finished fiddling with it and took this Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Precision Concealer. I don't even see this on Ulta anymore, but I do really like it for when I want to do half cut creases, and then taking a brush to pat it out, and then also just taking my finger to tap it out before taking the shade Party, or excuse me, trying to take that shade Party and apply it. And as you can see here, I went back and forth a couple times and it was just chunky and almost non-existent, and I just didn't have time for that. So I decided to change my plans and I went into Disco and took that shade and put that all over my lid, and that shade is gorgeous. As you can see, absolutely no work to build up. It goes on very smooth and pigmented, and if there is one flaw with it, is that it is so smooth and so pigmented. I have issues with fallout throughout the day, and no matter if I use glitter glue or not, that shade Disco transfers all up into my crease before I even leave my makeup table. But anyway, moving on, we're taking more of that, the Blue Note shade, and we are just marrying the two of them, the shimmer and the blue, trying to make it look as seamless as possible, and then spending even more time trying to get to that crease shade to not look like it's a stark line between blue and orange. Anyway, now I'm going back into Party, and I'm really trying to just pack it on, and I wanted to kind of just diffuse it and make kind of like a lighter blue, but after a while I actually ended up just kind of going up and making a line. I know BeautBean, Betty Jean, does this a lot, where she kind of just puts a lighter color above the color she wants on the lid, so I ended up doing that. And then I'm going in with the Vamp stamp and then taking this Essence Super Precision liner, and I am drawing on my wing. You guys know me, always have to have a wing. So anyway, and then after that, I'm just going to put on some mascara. This is L'Oreal's Unlimited Mascara, and then taking the Smashbox Always On Gel Liner in Fishnet and putting that in my waterline. I know it looks rough to transfer, but it's just because this pencil is very old and I need to sharpen it. So now going back into Blue Note, I am using that on a little short shader brush and smudging it right against my lashes, and really just trying to keep it very close to that lash line, and then taking Atomic and I am blending that out, but staying away from the inside half of my eye because I wanted to take Girls, this neon pink, and I'm applying that and meshing that with the rest of the, the blue and the Atomic, because I just wanted to try that neon pink that day. Anyway, then I'm taking this Makeup Geek Psychedelic highlighter, and I'm using that as my inner corner highlight, mainly because I didn't want to fuss with that Party shade anymore. But anyway, yeah, that is going to do it for this look. This is the final look. I like how it turned out, but it was something of a struggle bus to get there, and I feel like in the close-ups you can still see the patchiness and just like the unblendedness of the blue. I'm not saying I'm like an expert over here and it's the shadow's fault, it could totally be mine, but that's just the struggle that I ran into trying to create this look with this palette. Oh, and yes, a little peek at Baby Levi. And moving right along to the next look, I'm taking both of those same bases for my eye look, and then I am starting in with Bolt, that vibrant yellow. Using it on the eyes, especially with a more skin tone base, it definitely is more of a deeper, almost bordering on mustard shade as opposed to neon yellow. At least that's how it showed up on my skin, and I took a lot of time, as you can see, building it up, trying to get it as intense and vibrant as possible. And then I took Atomic and put that right in, trying to blend and mesh the two together, trying to create a very gradient look here in the crease. And then going into Girls, that neon pink, I'm applying that shade next and just marrying that into the orange that I just put down. This shade, while it is gorgeous, it does stain your eyelids. Every time I wore that neon pink, when I took my makeup off that night, it was still there. And then I went in with Haze next because I thought this would be a really pretty color to deepen up the crease, and while packing it on, it kind of looked promising. The moment I went to blend, it just kind of all blended away, and it was just a very sheer, lackluster, almost a satin type of color. I don't know, I was just very disappointed in it. I wanted it to kind of be more purplish, and once, as I was creating that look, as just, I don't know, it was very lackluster in my opinion. But anyway, I went on with the Revolution Conceal and Define and used that to cut out my crease. Oh, not cut out my crease, but just give myself a half cut crease. You guys know I love to do that. And a part of me just wanted to leave it just this color, or maybe even put white on top. But in the spirit of trying out this palette, I decided to take that matte tan color that's in this palette, the Indie shade, and I put that on top. It looks a lot lighter in the pan, but once you put it on your eyes, it definitely has a deeper tone, especially if you're packing it on, so keep that in mind. And while I think this look would have been best with a white, it was fine like this. I didn't mind it. But anyway, I'm going back in, trying to mesh the two together and just build up Haze some more, and I was fed up with it at this point, so I went in and mixed Girls and Blue Note to create a purple, a matte purple, and I just put that over top of it because I just wanted something that Haze was not giving me, and that definitely was a lot better. It took a lot of time to mix the two colors and to build it up and blend it out, but the end result I liked a whole lot more than if I had just left Haze there, because Haze just looked kind of watered down in my opinion, and I wasn't happy with it. So anyway, just gonna take forever to blend these two and really try to get it seamless, not patchy, and just get a very pretty purple. And then once I like how it looks, I'm just going to go back and forth with all the shades as you're going to see here, and really building it up, trying to make it as seamless as possible, really working on the outer corner as you can see. But yeah, just spending a lot of time, and eventually I was just like, okay, I got 3 kids, I gotta go, I can't spend forever blending. So moving on. Of course, I'm just taking my Vamp stamp and I use the It Cosmetics Superhero Liner, and then I put on some mascara and finish out the rest of my face. And for my lower lash line, I'm taking Atomic. I just realized I forgot to tell you what I used in my waterline. But anyway, I'm taking that shade and buffing that and blending that on my lower lash line with a little pencil brush, and then taking Party, my least favorite shade from this palette, and trying to pack that on. Wetting it definitely helped. It's very beautiful, but it's just so flaky. It's very hard to deal with, and I just felt like if you weren't just using it very pinpointedly, like for your inner corner, it tended to look very just patchy. I definitely had some issues when I was using this shade with getting those little flakies in my eyeballs, which wasn't fun. Anyway, just taking this Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner in the shade Pyro, and I'm applying that into my just the half cut crease. I really like to do this. You guys know I feel like I do it a lot whenever I do all matte looks, so I did that to complete the look, and this is the finished look. I think I would have to say that this was my favorite look that I did. Definitely, I feel like the blend was the best, even though it's still not the greatest, but the blend was the best on this look out of all the looks, in my personal opinion, and I love the matte look with the glitter and the crease. And overall, I really like this look out of all the looks that you're going to see today, and it's also the look that I was wearing when I did my birth story for little Levi. Yep, he was just sleeping on mama while I was taking forever to blend that look out. And for the last look, I'm taking the same eyeshadow primer, but this time I'm using the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in Halo, and I'm trying that as a base because I really want this Bolt shade to stand out, and I really packed it on there, but as you can see, it really isn't that neon that it looks like in the pan. Once it hits your skin, at least my skin tone, it definitely turns more of a dull yellow. But anyway, moving on to Atomic, I'm putting that right after it, and I kind of wanted to do just a really matte, blown out kind of gradient on my eyes. Kind of what I had in the crease from the previous look, so I'm going in with Girls next and just packing that on there, but I just wanted to do it across my whole eye look. I was actually trying to do something I had seen on Instagram that had more of a halo eye with this effect, and I tried that right before doing this look, but it wasn't blending, so I took the whole thing off and I'm just doing it a gradient, no halo eye, no craziness here, and just really trying to blend these all out and make them mesh really nicely. Blue Note was next, putting that right in the outer corner and trying to blend that into the pink to really create a purple going into the blue, and this is when the work began. As soon as that blue comes into the mix, I just feel like it takes so much work to try and blend this out. The yellow and orange also wasn't wanting to blend too well, but nothing as bad as that blue and that pink. As you can see, like, I'm really taking my time and trying to blend the two, but the blue doesn't want to move, I guess you could say. I don't know, maybe I just don't have enough time or finesse. Keep in mind, I'm doing this amidst kids and stuff like that, so I'm trying to take my time, but also not take 2 hours on this eye look. For me personally, it just was a bit of a struggle, and as you can see, I took Bolt and now Girls on a very tiny fluffy brush and just kind of buffing that into the crease just to blend out those shades on the top, just so it doesn't look so stark. And then going back to that blue and blending some more and trying to work that out and buff that out and make it look not so bad, basically. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that for a while, just going back and forth with a ton of different brushes, the two colors as much as I can, just trying to make that look good. Once I gave up on blending and just called it a day, I took the Vamp stamp and gave myself some wings, and then finished it off with the superhero liner, and then went back in with the pencil brushes and messed with it some more, as you can see. Did it help any? I don't know, you tell me. This was my least favorite look out of all of the looks that I created. I will tell you that right now. But anyway, moving on, I put on the Makeup Revolution, the Revolution Mascara, I think is what it's called. And then the Milani Stay Put eyeliner I put into my waterline. And then once that was in, I took Blue Note once again and smudged it really close to my lower lashes and kind of meshed that with the black there, but kept it very close to the waterline there. And then took Disco just to do something fun and different. And I did that on the inner half of it and just kind of meshed that into the blue. I was curious to see how that would transfer. It definitely took a little bit of work to get Disco to stay, just because, keep in mind this is on a set eye, like the concealer is set with powder and all that, but it eventually did stick and I thought it looked really pretty. Then going in with Party, as much as I didn't want to, I definitely did wet it, and that always helps, but I'm putting this in my inner corner, and I don't know, maybe it was just because of how much blending I'd done this day, but I didn't want to mess with it, so I took Makeup Geek Psychedelic, once again, her highlighter color, and I used that as my inner corner highlight. But anyway, here is the finished look. Yeah, not too crazy happy about it, but it is what it is. This is the look I ended up with for my third look using this palette. Definitely not my favorite look, and I just absolutely hate the blend, especially with that blue. It was just such a difficult shadow to use, but that is the third and final look that I did using the Neon Lights palette.
Okay, so there you have it. Those are the 3 looks. Definitely was a bit more challenging using this palette than I anticipated when I initially bought it, and then, you know, was able to swatch it and just thought about the looks that I would create. It's definitely tricky. Maybe it's just my lack of knowledge and experience when it comes to neon shadows, but I'll definitely be trying more neon shadows in 2020, so we shall see. But yeah, as you heard from the voiceover and whatnot, I can't say I recommend this. I feel like it was very tricky, but I will be giving my official review of this at some point, so stay tuned for that review, and I will share more in depth what I think about this palette. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the 3 looks, 1 palette, and that you found it informative, helpful, and maybe a little inspiring if you have this palette or shades like this palette and were wanting to, you know, have ideas for what to do, what type of looks you could do with this palette. But anyway, yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up. Little man wants to say hi one more time. But anyway, yeah, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.